mention ACT a couple of times here.
Mhm.
Why is ACT, Dr. Tarbox, which has a lot to do with this thing of seeing the bigger picture? This is a hot topic especially for parents of neurodiverse individuals, parents of individuals who are on the autism spectrum. Um, Everybody's talking about it in conjunction with parents. Why? And then tell us a little bit about I know you're working on something right now with some of your students are working on. Talk to
Sure.
us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, so I like to think about ACT as basically like a set of sort of life skills, sort of lifestyle skills, or you could think about them as sort of self-management skills. But they're basically like healthy habits for helping one let go of the sort of thoughts and feelings that get in the way and reconnect with what really matters, get present, and live a life of greater meaning and purpose without having to change our thoughts or feelings in order to do it. So basically, like, who wouldn't want more meaning and purpose and less struggle with thoughts and feelings? Who wouldn't want the ability to be more present with whatever's happening in life? That's what ACT is about, is skills for sort of working on our own lives and our own ability to live inside of our own skins with our own minds and our own hearts without having to change any of that. Fully getting closer to fully accepting who we are, what our life is about, connecting with what our life is about, and then choosing small actions every day that put meaning and purpose at the center of our daily activities. So that's sort of big picture what the ACT work is about. Yeah, I appreciate appreciate the opportunity to announce a study that I got going on. It's my student Kristen Lee is doing a study, and she's recruiting right now, and it's specifically for parents of autistic children, and it's web-based, self-paced, and it's ACT training for parents. And so it's a randomized control trial. And so if you sign up for it, basically it's a coin flip, whether you get in the immediate treatment group or the waitlist group, but everyone gets the same training and the same treatment. You just either get it immediately or you have to wait, I forget how long, a month or two, and then you get it. And we just have to do that for the stats. That's how you have to make it work. And if you want to produce data that will publish, we can't give everyone the same thing at the same time. It's relatively short term, relatively low time investment, and you could do it from any cell phone or laptop or iPad. You can get the training.
Okay, so right now, if you're watching, or if you know somebody who could benefit from this, we're going to put an email up on the screen that I put in the chat for Traven to have it. And what we want you to do is to write to Kristen and tell her that you'd like to be a part of the study. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Dr. Tarbox. So some of the things that we've been talking about, if you're struggling and you are a parent of an individual who has a diagnosis, they're wanting you to take part in this study. So you're going to get free training in these techniques to help you to deal with your feelings. Because you're going to be a part of the study, you're going to get the free training at some point. You just might have to wait because they want to see, how everybody does. And you're going to be asked some questions, but it's going to be really helpful. And I believe, I know you can't say that because it's a study to see.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to sell it. That's part of the
right.
recruiting, restrictions that we have. I can't promise any benefit.
Right.
But
I can tell parents that there's tons of research. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You finished.
No, I was just gonna say, I can just be honest about the fact that in the past, when I've provided parents in the autism community with ACT training, they've reported that it's helpful and beneficial. I'm not promising any benefit from this study, but yeah, there's a potential for benefit for sure.
But and I can say to parents that I've been through some not necessarily this training, but other training in ACT, and that it was very beneficial to me. So I'm encouraging you to do it. It's free. It's not going to be free forever. This is part of a study, and a lot of people have to pay a significant amount of money for this. So I'm telling you that I think it's a really good idea that you do this, because not only will you find a benefit in it, but then the people who then read the study results will also be able to find a benefit in it. It's a way of being of service on a bunch of different levels. So we have put the the email on the screen for you, for those of you who are listening in podcasts, because a lot of our viewers are listeners. It is JINGQILI@usc.ed. Did I get that right? I'm a little
You got it
blind
right.
these days.
That's the one. Yeah, I know.
Uh,
I was kind of squinting too, but yeah, that's it.
okay, so I encourage you guys to do that because there is a growing there's more and more research about this, Dr. Tarbox, showing that there is a benefit. You guys are looking at some very specific things having
Mhm,
to do with this. So I'm excited. Amanda is excited about it too. I do want to
mhm.
say that Amanda had written in, and I love your honesty, Amanda. I have trust issues, so finding someone for respite is going to be hard. I'm so scared someone is going to hurt my kids. I
Yeah,
think this is a great thing to talk about, Dr. Tarbox, because you have a group of parents who are saying, I need a break. I need a
yeah,
break in the worst possible way. And I understand if I don't get a break, I'm pushing the limits of what I can do as a parent, and I might even get sick.
yeah,
Like
for
like
sure.
we cognitively understand all of that. If you talk to any of us, we all get that, right? But we have this other thing on the other side that says, I don't know who to trust. I'm
Yeah,
not sure that I can trust anybody, so I'm not even going to look, or I start to look and I get afraid and I shut down from that. And
yeah,
that's why parents don't find respite care. But these two things are so important to us. I need a break. I need my kids to be safe. And it's like bung, 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 bung. This is something
yes.
great that you could bring ACT to. Yes?
Yeah, yeah. So I would say, this is a great opportunity to practice diffusion skills. So you can notice the thoughts that show up and you could even write them down. Like, I don't trust anyone with my children. I don't want my child to get hurt. Maybe even some darker thoughts like some respite people abuse children. That thought is not logically false. That is a true thought, right? Write them down, and then you can practice just responding to those thoughts in a variety of ways. So, one way of doing it is just taking a step back. You could do it physically or psychologically, and just say, I notice that I'm having the thought that I don't trust anyone with my kids. Or I notice that I'm a parent named Amanda, X number of years old, living in X state or country, wherever you are, having the thought that I don't trust a professional with my child's safety. And it's just a different way of responding to that thought. Maybe in the past, you'd be just about to make a call or send an email to a respite provider. You'd have the thought, I don't trust anybody with my kids, and you close the laptop. So instead of that, maybe you have the thought, or you're about to email a respite provider. I have the thought, I don't trust anybody with my kids. And then I say, gee, that's interesting. I notice I'm a 45-year-old dad having the thought that I don't trust anybody with my kids. And then just take a deep breath and then just kind of notice, do I want to close the laptop, or is there an opportunity to send an email? Is there an opportunity to do a Zoom interview at least with a respite provider? Could I maybe reach out to some trusted friends who have had success with respite providers, and maybe I could interview them? Is there some other behavior that's available to me other than just shutting the door to the opportunities for respite? And it's just about creating a little space for variability and just trying something different. And it's not guaranteed to work, but it probably is more likely to be effective than just doing the same old thing, which is, never mind, then I'm not going to make the call. I'm not going to send the email.
Yeah. I'm sure there's another name for it. But one of the things that I was taught for myself, because I tend to go to catastrophic thinking,
Mm-hmm.
is to ask myself, is it 100% always true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a
Because
good one.
then my brain goes, oh, all planes don't crash.
Right,
If they
right.
did, no one would get on them.
Yep. You
And
could also do it with some sarcasm. Like, you could
yeah,
say, it's 100% certain that every respite care provider will hurt my child. And just like notice what that does to you and go like,
yeah.
oh, all right,
Well,
okay, maybe I am over, you know what I mean? And again, not to be disrespectful to yourself. You're not making fun of
no,
yourself, unless you feel safe doing that,
yeah.
but you are maybe just creating a context to take that thought a little bit less literally and with a little bit less certainty. And notice that the thought is just something showing up for you. It's not necessarily true or untrue. It's just something showing up. And then you have choices about how to respond to it.
Well, and one of the things that I love about all of that is that then I find myself an equation where I allow myself to dream and say, what would be the ultimate Fabulous.
Mm,
What
mm,
would my heart be open to? Would my heart be open to allowing a new person to come into our life who might be just what I need and just what my son needs, who adds and becomes part of our family and
mm.
becomes somebody that would my heart be open to that? And then I find I want to move towards that. I
I
want to
like that.
believe that that's a possibility.
So you've identified sort of catastrophizing as sort of maybe sort of a rigid sort of, I don't want to say problem behavior, but maybe a habit that gets in the way sometimes. And then you've identified a specific alternative behavior to that, which
Yeah.
is imagining potential positive possibilities, not fake, not saccharine fluff, but like stuff that you actually care about, your values, right? So imagining possible future outcomes that are directly connected to what really matters to you. And so maybe it's like imagining a possible future where, since I have a little bit more time, I could take better care of myself, which then
Mhm.
makes me more effective as a parent.
Yeah.
And how about this? Creating a little more room for self care so that in the future, my child remembers back to their childhood and can remember a model of a parent who took care of themselves. And then that will create a possible future where my child will take better care of themselves in the future rather than only making their life about something else other than
Amen to that.
just right.
Amen to that. That's incredible. Well, and can I tell you when else I use this is that for years, there's this thing that happens with parents where we'll start ABA services and they're going really well. And we've identified one or two or three therapists that are just, our be all end all. And then one of them leaves and they're bringing a new therapist onto the team. And we all go, I don't want somebody new. I don't want somebody new. What, they're not going to know us. They're not going to know my kid. Why do I have to have somebody new? And sometimes it's the person is brand new. They just got their RBT and we're like, they're a big, or they're studying to get their RBT. They know nothing. And we're afraid, like, who are these people and how are they going to come in without this knowledge? And you know what I say to people all the time? There was a mom one day who let Dr. Jonathan Tarbox into her house and he was
Mm.
seeing a child for the first time and she let him come in and look, she won the lottery. you know, and you don't know, you might be this person coming on your team might in 20 years be, somebody that we're going to be like, oh my gosh, they're like Dr. Tarbox. Like there was a parent one day who didn't know how brilliant you were, who opened the door and it was your first day.
Well, I thank you for that, but I'm going to make it not even just about me or one particular person, but it could be that new therapist could be the person that makes the most enduring human to human connection with my
Mhm.
child. Out of the entire therapy team, out of my child's entire life of receiving support services, this could be the person. We don't know. Like through empathy and compassion and through connection, this person could transform my child's life. I mean, we don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. And but it's that thing again where if I can get myself through the catastrophic thinking and think about what is my heart open to, oh, would I be open to somebody new coming in and being able to like really make things better? That's me on my best day and my best moment. So that's a really fun thing. I'm just realizing how much time we've gone through and we have so many more things to talk about. I brought up ABA. You are someone who is a huge proponent of compassionate ABA.
Yeah.
And I want to give you at least 3 minutes. I know you need 3 years
Okay.
to talk about this, but at least 3 minutes to talk about compassion in ABA and the fact that it is there and that it can be there and that we all need to be looking for it.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. So it is one of my number one sort of guideposts right now in my career is talking about compassion, using my behavior to try to create a context for ABA folks to open up more to what we really care about. And it's really interesting right now. For the last couple of years, we've been seeing a change, an evolution in our field where I do believe, no, in fact, I know that 99.9% of ABA folks are in the field for the right reasons. Certainly not for the money. We're in the field to help other people and because we care about transforming lives. There's no question that compassion is at the core, the foundation really for why we get into this field. Um, and also, it's reasonable to observe that that's not obvious from our behavior and that there are many people who do not feel warmth and compassion from ABA folks. And part of it, we have to take responsibility. That part of it is on us. It's on how we act and how we talk. Jargon is not compassionate. If we're talking to parents or teachers using all of our jargon that makes us sound so smart or whatever and scientific, it usually does not come off as compassionate, right? And we already know that from medical doctors. When was the last time you felt warmth and care from a medical doctor who just told you about all your challenges through some jargon that you can't understand, right? We all say that's bad bedside manner. It's obvious, right? So, and somehow yet we've had this tradition in our field for decades of sort of making that same mistake. And so something's changing right now. 10 years ago, sort of the older, sort of whiter, more male power players in the field really would have resisted this change and really did not want things to change. And it's about the science, it's about the data. Something is changing now in our field where people are ready to embrace the fact that we are human beings first and ABA professionals second. That like our calling is to take care of human beings and to make other people's lives better through warmth and kindness and compassion. That's who we are. That's our foundation. The way that we do it is awesome. We have the science that can help people learn skills that transform their lives. That's great. The science is incredible. It's a gift, but it's not the foundation. It's not the thing that matters the most. It's a tool. The thing that matters the most is humans treating other humans with dignity and compassion and kindness, and touching other people's lives through warmth, making our clients feel safe. Like when our clients are older, when they graduate, when they have their own YouTube channel, whatever it is, we want them looking back and remembering that we held their hands through the hardest times of their lives. We do not want them looking back remembering that we were strict or grouchy with them or bossing them around all the time. That's not who we are as a field. It's not who we are. And we know that, but it's time for our field to really more fully embrace that it's our responsibility to show that and to live that through our behavior. And the cool thing is, man, it's working. Our field is moving in this direction. And so it's a really exciting time actually to be in ABA.
And I just have to say that in all of these discussions, and I love talking about this with you and hearing you talk about it, I just want to say that when my son received his ABA treatment, that is what I got. You were a part of that team, and that is what I got. And so I want to acknowledge that we're trying to open everybody's eyes to the fact that ABA is something that has the great potential to be compassionate. Like anything else, it also has the ability to go and do something else. But there
Sure.
is good compassionate ABA out there. There has been good compassionate ABA out there for decades. This is
Of
not,
course.
it
Since the
didn't just get
beginning.
invented last Tuesday.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I do think that ABA in general needs a new PR. It needs a do-over because the most of the information that's out there doesn't acknowledge this. But I'm so glad
Yeah.
that you guys are starting to put this forward and saying this is an important piece of this. I think what was happening was that you guys were so busy out there doing your jobs and making people's lives better that you weren't telling people, oh, by the way, here's what we're doing. And that's part of what happened. But, here we're all about telling the stories. So I just have to tell the story that my son received compassionate ABA and Dr. Tarbox was a part of that team, and it's the best thing ever. So I want to say that. We've only got like 2 minutes left. They want the email address for the study again. Traven, can we put that back up and leave it up maybe till the end here? We've only got a minute, but I don't want to leave without talking about the implications of neurodiversity for ABA, because I know that
Yeah.
this is a topic that you are someone who's speaking out, and it's very important to you.
Yeah. I just want to say that I really appreciate the neurodiversity movement, and I feel like it's a gift, and it's helping us do better in areas of compassion. It's helping us fight ableism in our treatment goals and our treatment plans and our approach to treatment. It's helping us honor autistic culture and autistic perspectives. And the cool thing about doing that is, man, what our autistic friends and colleagues are telling us is stuff that we already care about. And like we neurotypicals, if we even are, we neurotypicals could do so much better. So for example, like just like How about not getting so hung up on what it means to be professional or what it means to be correct social behavior? Let's be a little bit more inclusive and accepting of each other and a little bit more compassionate. That comes from autistic culture. And when you think about it, that's really interesting because, man, aren't we neurotypicals the ones that are supposed to be helping them with social skills? And they're giving us the lesson that be more inclusive, be less hung up, right? On what it means to
Yes.
be correct socially. That's an incredible social skill. That's an incredibly higher order social skill that's so much more important than sharing or turn taking or eye contact or something. You see what I'm saying? So, like,
Uh,
I feel like we are
Totally.
learning so much from the neurodiversity community, and I just appreciate it. And it's already paying dividends. But the next 5 years in ABA, we're seeing a really important evolution.
I just want to give an example of that. I remember very distinctly coming to you on a day when my son was probably 9 or 10, that I was having a problem where we were living. We had to park on the street, a very busy street, across from the condo that we were renting. And every day it was so stressful for me. I would get out of the car and I would be saying to my son, and there would be cars whizzing by, and I would be saying to my son, you have to get out and get to the, get over to the sidewalk safely quickly, because you could not get out on the other side. You had to get out on the street side. And I would be hysterical and saying to him, you have to get out quickly. Why are you taking so much time? And I would be pulling him in his backpack and almost throwing him onto the sidewalk because I was afraid we were going to get hit by a car. And I was asking everybody for advice about how to do what. And we worked through like a task analysis of what had to come out of the car and what order. And I worked on it with him. And finally, I said to him one day, I was like, this is killing me. I just said to my kid, this is killing me. Do you understand why I need you to go quickly? And he said, not really. And I said, because it's got to be this way. It's making me anxious. And if it's not this way, I can't do it. I need you to do it this way. And he looked at me for a second and he said, Mom, do you have autism? Right? And that was exactly the response you gave all those years ago when he said that. And in that moment, I went, oh, who is having rigidity here? Who is not having perspective taking here?
Mhm,
It's not
mhm.
him. He
Right.
was taking my perspective and saying, I don't understand why you need it to be this way. I was the person who was totally inflexible. I was the person who was not looking at from his point of view. So there you go. It is important that we listen to the folks that are neurodiverse and in
Yes.
all of their stories,
Yes.
including when they have not had a good experience with
Of
ABA.
course. Of
It's
course.
essential that we not poo-poo that in any way, shape, or form. And I love that you and a growing number of your field are embracing that and saying this is the stuff we need to know. um i
Absolutely.
I just love you so much.
Oh, thank you. I
I
appreciate
do.
that.
And I love what you're doing in this field, and I just respect and admire. Okay, so we got to finish this out, but where can people go if they want to, for instance, if they want to buy your books, Dr. Tarbox?
Oh, geez. Well,
Is
so
there a website? Do you have an
yeah,
author
they could.
website yet?
I mean, they could check out our master's program website, and I have a web page on there. So if you Google USC ABA and you go past the paid advertisements,
Okay.
click on that, and there's a page with information on neurodiversity for ABA. There's research resources. There's a page for each faculty member, which has links to my books and articles and things like that. And yeah, we'd love to have people drop by the website and check us out and give us feedback. Yeah, there it is. Very
And
nice.
Traven's got it in the comments about where to go, but you can usc.edu, look up ABA if you're not watching us live. You're amazing, you're remarkable, and for families, we didn't. I only mentioned it, but tell us about First Steps.
Oh yeah, First Steps for Kids is a fabulous ABA provider in California, mostly in Southern California, but the one clinic up in the Bay Area too, and sort of a medium-sized, still like family-owned mom and pop ABA provider. Really high quality services. So, and they specialize in younger ages. So, if folks are looking for ABA services in the sort of Southern California or Bay Area in California, yeah, firststepsforkids.com must be, yeah, firststepsforkids.com. check them out. They provide great services for sure.
And it's possible they might run into you if they're there. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.